Okay, so what we're going to do here is see how to use a for loop uh, in Java. And so you can see I've already got my scanner defined as well as an input string of data type string created. And so now I'm just going to get a string from the user. So that would be under my input section. Okay, so in here, I could use either next or next line. I want to get from the user an entire sentence rather than just a word. What next will do, next will pull in only a word. So let's go ahead and test that. Okay, and output down here, I'm just going to just echo back what I've typed in. All right, so I'm going to save that, run that. It's waiting for me to type, so hello world, how are things? Question mark. And you'll see it only captured the first word. So that's what next does. I want to capture the entire sentence, however. To do that, next line works. So if I run this test again, hello world, how are things? You'll see it captured the entire sentence. Okay, so that's what I want to do. Then I want to use just a for loop just to echo it back instead of this print. I just want to see how to parse this string one character at a time. All right, so to do that, one thing I can do is let's define an integer length. Okay, and I'm going to ask the input string, since it's an object, it's a class. String is a class, and the string input is the object created from that class, what's called instantiated. Then it has a lot of different methods that is available for me. Okay, one of them right there at the top is length, and that returns an integer value to tell me how many characters that string is. So a string object has an array of characters in it. An array is a contiguous pieces of memory that are indexed, index 0 through the length -1. So the length of an array in Java is, if the array has 5 in it, like hello, then the length will be 5, but the index values will be 0 through 4. That's in all arrays in Java. Okay, so let's take that length, put it into my variable. Okay, and then I'm going to come down here, output the string, and then attach the length to it, like that, just so I can see length. I can spell it right. Save that, run it. Okay, so hello world. That's 2 5-letter words plus a space. That's 11 characters long. Okay, so I hit enter, and it tells me that's 11 characters, including a space. All right, so now we see how to use length. I could use that in a loop. So instead of using the print line, what I'm going to do is comment that out. I'm going to use a for loop for int I is equal to 0, I less than length, and then I plus plus. Okay, so what we have is defined a variable called I. That's very common. Instead of using camel case as we've been doing for variables, and I said they'll never use a variable like X, Y, or Z. This is actually a time within a loop where an iteration over, in this case, an array, is used using a single character. And it's very common to use I, J, or K, for example. And that's what we'll use. So we define I. I is known within the scope of the for loop. So within the curly braces, then I is recognized. Outside of the for loop, either above or below, I is not known. Okay, so I goes and starts at 0, and it goes through length -1. Why -1? Because as long as I is a less than, if I just said less than or equal to here, then it would not work. It would go over the end of the array. And then I increment 1 every pass of this loop. Okay, so if I do sys out now, and instead of using just print the whole string, I want each character pulled out. I can do that by using another function of the string class, string input dot character at, and the index will be I. Okay, now I want to also add a space between each character just so that I can see that it's pulling out each character one at a time, starting at 0 through n -1, or length -1. All right, so let's run it, save this. Let's run it. ELLO world. And you can see what happened is it printed out 1 letter per line, and that's because, if I can get this back down here, that's because I used print line instead of print. That's my mistake. Let's do this again. And you can see it prints out 1 character at a time using a for loop. A for loop is very well suited for parsing or looking through arrays. I know we're not to arrays, but we're actually using arrays in the string because a string is an array of characters. All right.